Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're looking at a fascinating and honestly pretty urgent reality. Children today are growing up in a world completely driven by artificial intelligence. This isn't just a basic discussion about the newest tech gadgets. It is fundamentally about child development, human psychology, and really the future of our society itself.
So the big question right off the bat, are we actually fully prepared for what AI means for the next generation? It's something we have to ask, because children today are experiencing a baseline reality that is completely different from the one most adults ever knew. They're growing up in a space that is entirely shaped by personalized, intelligent digital environments.
Just look at a typical kid's daily digital diet nowadays. We're talking TikTok algorithms, endless YouTube recommendations, voice assistants sitting right there in the living room, AI chatbots, educational apps, gaming systems, the whole shebang. For them, interacting with this pervasive, underlying AI is entirely normal, and it happens long before they even have the mental capacity to understand what the technology actually is.
And here's the kicker. Most of these systems are literally designed from the ground up to maximize engagement. They track every millisecond of a scroll, every single click, and they optimize for one main thing, which is keeping young eyes glued to the screen. Because of that, AI is already shaping attention, behavior, and habits from very young ages, basically building neural pathways based on these constant digital feedback loops.
Section 1. The Great AI Paradox: Opportunities versus Vulnerabilities. This perfectly illustrates the dual reality we're dealing with. On one hand, you've got incredible opportunities. AI can offer unmatched educational support, accelerate language learning, boost accessibility, and create these wonderfully personalized learning environments. But, and it's a big but, this collides head-on with some very unique vulnerabilities. Children are still actively developing their critical thinking, their emotional regulation, and their decision-making skills, meaning they might trust these highly intelligent, authoritative-sounding systems far too easily.
Section 2. Empathy and Engagement Algorithms: The Illusion of Connection.
Now, what's really fascinating here is looking at this through a child's eyes. To them, conversational AI isn't just a bunch of code on a server. It's a system that responds instantly, it never gets tired, and it feels incredibly supportive and emotionally available. In fact, some kids are already treating chatbots as real confidants, sharing secrets and personal stories, completely unaware that they're feeding deeply intimate data straight into a machine.
Which brings us to a really profound question. What actually happens if children begin forming genuine, emotional attachments to these AI systems? As virtual companions get better at simulating empathy and mirroring a child's emotions, we are stepping into a psychological minefield that humanity has literally never had to navigate before.
Well, to understand that risk, we cannot forget the underlying business mechanics driving these tools. The reality is that the more engagement a platform receives, the more profitable the system becomes. Many experts are deeply concerned that AI might gradually optimize purely to hijack a child's attention, rather than actually nurturing their healthy, holistic development.
Section 3. Synthetic Media and Privacy: The Digital Data Trail.
Kids today are essentially navigating what experts call an artificial internet. We're talking deepfakes, synthetic media, manipulated videos, and AI-generated misinformation everywhere they look. Growing up in this environment means their baseline for digital trust is deeply fractured right from the start. It is getting harder and harder every single passing year for them to distinguish actual reality from algorithmically generated fiction.
And while they're navigating all of this, they're leaving a massive digital footprint. Think of it like this. Every photo, voice recording, location tag, and behavioral pattern acts as a raw data input. AI then uses those inputs for system optimization, powering targeted advertising, behavior prediction, recommendation systems, and deprofiling. Children are unknowingly building these massive, long-term digital identities long before they can even comprehend a word like consent.
Section 4. Rethinking Education and Awareness: The Classroom Dilemma. So how does this all play out in the real world? Well, schools are basically at the absolute epicenter of this shift. On the one side, educators share entirely valid fears about rampant cheating, eroding critical thinking, and a general loss of creativity. But conversely, there are deep hopes that AI could become one of the most powerful, personalized educational tools ever created. Ultimately, maintaining an impartial view here, we have to recognize that both realities exist simultaneously. But here's the thing. Simply handing kids an iPad and stepping back, that is definitely not the solution. Children do not need only AI access. They are going to be surrounded by intelligent systems everywhere they go anyway. Mere access absolutely does not equal empowerment, and it certainly doesn't equal safety. So what do they actually need to survive and thrive? It boils down to a specific toolkit. First, digital awareness, to actually see through platform mechanics. Second and third, solid privacy education and cybersecurity habits to guard their data. Fourth, razor-sharp critical thinking to question what they see online. And fifth, maybe most importantly, the emotional resilience to know when to just log off.
To sum this all up, there's a really powerful quote from our source material that just hits the nail on the head. The decisions society makes today about children and AI may shape the next generation more than we fully realize. This isn't just some fleeting tech trend. It's a fundamental turning point for human behavior and child development.
Which leaves us with this final, lingering thought. As society learns to navigate these incredibly powerful tools, how exactly will we empower the next generation to truly thrive? It is the defining question we all need to be asking right now as we build this digital future. Keep asking those hard questions, keep exploring, and thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.